Seaton, not Seaton. Well, Seaton, not Seatown. I'm not exactly sure it's people in Seaton, like a Seatown next to call themselves Seaton or Seatown, and make the differentiation between here and Seaton. But I am in Seaton, which is actually in Devon. So I've now broken through to Devon. And yes, it is. I've decided to walk back, lots of heavy shopping obviously, along the coast to Lyme Regis. But of course, looking at the of course, looking at the clip. This is the problem of looking. Google does have an indication of. Maybe I should look at it on Osmond actually. Of height of things, and it didn't look like it was lots of uppy downies. I can see one here that's very uppy, but I'll probably have to walk up and find the coast path. I don't know where the coast path is here. I assume usually, not always, it might be more obvious when I get to Axmouth, which is, I assume, the mouth of the River Axe, which is just by Seaton. I'm guessing there now. I assume it'll be more obvious from here, where or if there is any concept of a coast path. But we will find out, you know. But yeah, Seaton, this version is very much like, it reminds me of Hythe or some of the I'm trying to remember the name of, not Hastings or Folkestone, because Folkestone's gone through a bit of a revival. Hastings is a bit a bit shabby in places, but it's got its art stuff, you know. So some of the other ones nearby, this place up here, it reminds me of Hythe. The Hythe doesn't pretend to have very much at all. It's not trying to be a seaside town, but this is definitely a seaside one. The classic faded, falling apart seaside town. You know, that's kind of very, very rough around the edges. Though it does have a big Tesco. This is weird because I actually went and looked when I was shopping in Lyme Regis. I was like, just check to see if Seaton actually has some shops. Maybe we'll go to Seaton and get shop there. And all that came up was Spa and Londis. And I was like, So I got a few things in Lyme, thinking, oh dear, I'm going to get very bored with the selection. It's going to be pasta, and pasta. Which is good because I have a lot of pasta. I've told you repeatedly, but I was a bit like, And then got here and the bus goes past a massive Tesco's. Like I kind of understand a little bit of when someone from the Amazon rainforest walks into a supermarket now, because having spent 2 weeks away from any really large or kind of interesting sort of, you know, what in London would be called a normal supermarket, all tiny versions of supermarkets, or even tiny little shops, and have to scrabble around for this bit here, this bit, or, you know, go to this shop, this might have something, again and again. And here we are, massive, and it was like, oh my god, choice, things, the things have things. I can actually have food. You actually have a free from section. Not only do you have a free from section, which quite a few places do actually have a tiny one, but you actually have choice in that free from section. My god. Yeah, it was that kind of moment, like, oh yes. So I now have a very big heavy bag, which I'm going to try and take over a big cliff. That's probably not a good planning, but I do have an exit strategy of the 378, because I came here on the 378 bus. Now, this is where we get out of First World and into other bus world. AVMT, Axe Valley Mini Transport, I think it stands for. They run several buses from here, and it seems like Seaton is the next hub. Not Lyme Regis, because that's only on the 378 and the X53, 51. So that's fine if you want to go up to Axminster and Yeovil Way, but it seems like the next gateway is here, or around here, because there's lots of buses, and there's something called Dart Line. I'm not calling it Dart Line. And the first instance of the evil bus company who we hate most of all, Stagecoach. Oh, there's someone launching a boatie. Stage Mouse? Stagecoach. And so, yes, they tend to be around Exeter, Taunton way. So, obviously, we're getting into Stagecoach world. And it was a 9 bus, and that went to Taunton and Exeter, I think. So, yes, I think Seaton is probably the next kind of hub. And it really looks really interesting further around to Beer and Branscombe, I think it is. So, I think it'll be a good next sort of... That doesn't mean I necessarily have to stay here. Just, this is where I'll probably come and then catch other buses from. And use as a little hub. And next time I might either come here or a bit further down nearby and use this as the way that I was staying near Bridport, and I was using that as a sort of a hub, and the way I was doing the same with Weymouth. You don't have to stay in that place, but you can stay nearby, get buses in and change there, and you've got so Seaton is a good interchange for a whole bunch of buses. But yeah, it's not it's a world away from Lyme, Regis, I have to say. Anyway, I've got to go now. I've got to go and walk over a cliff with lots of food in my bag, and I'll take a picture of a bridge. So I'll speak to you soon. Thank you. Yes, an addendum to my previous bit. I'm walking to Lyme Regis, and it said I came across a sign. I was just taking a picture of it. Came across a sign saying this is a 3.5-4 hour walk. Yeah, that's okay, and it's arduous, and it's really it's really hard going. And so far I've come across a bench. This is fairly this is not arduous at all. I mean, I admit there might be bits of it that are arduous, but if a lot of it's like this, then it's fine. It's very hard to say what their idea of arduous. What was the interesting thing is that there was no way out. Although, to be brutally honest, if I have to go through a wheat field like I saw earlier to get out of here, then I will. But yeah, what's probably slightly confusing in the last section was I said Axmouth. Yeah, Axmouth, not Exmouth. It seems like this whole area is full of things which are like sound like other things. So Seatown, Seaton, or might both be Seaton. Axmouth, Egmouth. They're not all melt plash. We're having a show today, I think. It's Thursday, and I think the Meltplash show is on because they were running buses from the Lyme Regis, which is why I was in panic about where I could get my bus because they closed the main road. Oh, I've dented my phone screen with my poor screen. I think I haven't cracked it. I've just sort of dented the. I found out the hard way that it's a hard surface, but it's not Gorilla Glass. It scratches. Cheapy phones. This is otherwise very good. XF3, F3 Poco, Xiaomi, Meow, whatever it's called. But yes, be careful with that screen now. It seems to have a plastic covering over the front. I think I've scratched that. I don't think it doesn't feel like glass though, so I think it's kind of like a protective covering on top. Hopefully it doesn't fuck the phone up. But yes, so I was going to record this on the little bench I found. I took a picture of it, and I really wish I took a picture of that sign. So yeah, for it, because I was like, Is that what arduous scale are we talking about? Are we talking about scaling K2, Everest, walking Ben Nevis, Golden Cap, Moot Bay? Because there's a bit of Moot Bay even I bottled out on, because it was just like up a cliff, literally steps up a cliff. I'm not joking. Like one tumble and you are dead type shit. I'm not referring to Tumblr. What scale? Because I'm fairly experienced at this shit. But just saying it's an arduous and I can't remember the word. Not grueling, but something very similar to that. Arduous and, maybe I'll find the sign online somewhere. I really wish I took a picture of it. But I was just like, okay. Also, to tell you this, just to turn off to Exmouth, you don't tell us at the bottom of the hill you've just climbed up, because that was rather steep and horrible, through a golf course. So they don't tell you then. No. So I think there's a likelihood I won't actually get any work done today. Or if it is, it'll be very quick, because obviously, because of that sign, I'm like, I'd be rather angry if I get to fucking Lyme Regis and I'm like going, was that it? Like, with hours to spare, and go, oh, I could have stopped and done some work. But you'll find out in the next podcast, listener, whether jeopardy. Because I'm a bit like the last one. Yes, I'm staying. But yeah, I've got this shopping from the big Tesco in my bag as well, which is not helping. So we'll find out how scary it is. I mean, seriously, they've got fences. I'm looking at one here. Danger cliff edge. Sheer drop. There's signs. There's a fence. We have benches. We have signs even. And marked paths. This is just not Lulworth. I get the impression that Devon would shut down most of Lulworth and Moot Bay and Dirtletor and just call it unsafe. I'm going health and safety gone mad ranty on you, but seriously, their idea of Golden Cap was hard to walk up, and then you've got the Stone Barrow Hill afterwards. That was a difficult one too. One of them is like okay, but even they had benches up them, even though they were, I've said this in the podcast, even they were just like, okay, it wasn't the real wilds further up the coast where it's just like, you don't know where the path is, there's no marks on the path, you're going to follow, maybe find those little, not signs, but those little, wooden bollardy things with the thing on, and that's it. And it's you've just got to not fall off the edge, and there's not a fence to be found. So yeah, I find it funny, their idea of arduous. So we'll see if that's right or not. I say it might be famous last words about this. I might go, oh my god, I really wish I hadn't done this, but I'm going to get back to Lyme Regis, and I've got all my shopping with me. I've got all my people with me. Woo! Yeah, preset's quote. And I've got to get back, so I'm committed now, although I can go back. In the past I've done that, just kept going and got myself into more trouble. But here it's just like, yeah. So I better go.